Look at that marker. Isn't it amazing? Everywhere I tell you that they are, there just happens to be a natural face of a monster. And remember, it doesn't have it. Sometimes it's the most blatant face that you could ever see in your life. Even I've filmed faces on rocks that were made, like carved out, like ancient ones and recent ones. Look at this. See, the only people that ever troll is because they don't understand. They think that, like, this is like my first video. Like, they don't know that I've set countless world records. Noticeable from below. And almost slipping. You know, when I almost slipped is I grabbed a branch and the branch broke coming up this over here, and I almost went backwards. I would have lived, but it would have sucked. I got some interesting piles here that look like they've been like that. It's definitely a pile. There's nothing to do with the rocks. It's on a big boulder, but they're different rocks. Like they weren't from the same, they're like from these, which probably from this. Like they might have peeled off, but something put them there in a stack a long time ago. All right, let's try to make it. No other rocks look like that around here except on these piles, these giant, what I call mounds. I don't know what to call them. You can name them whatever you want. Look how clean. There was footprints here, but older. That's from me. Let me see if I can see the other one. There's one right there. You can tell just by the age. There's a bunch of them. I don't know how old. They're literally footprints. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it. I got too much sun glare, but it's right by that rock. It's the rock in here. And there's I wouldn't think much of one, but there's a bunch of them. Nothing from today that I can tell, comparing it to the disturbance I'm making. We also assume that they all use bare feet. We don't know that. I just posted a picture in the video this morning that shows you one wearing a robe. I have many pictures of them wearing robes. Okay, this is not what it's. Remember, you're not supposed to understand this. We're learning it. It's not human. Interesting. It almost looks like ocean-like, hundreds of millions of years old. There's a hole in there, and just one pizza quartz sitting there. This has been disturbed right here. Look at that. It's just sitting there, and the front was disturbed. If you can tell. Here's why I walked all the way up here. Because it jogs in, but I want to show you, because I've seen it from a way distance. You can't get in. I can't walk you in there. It's straight down. You can see, so the entrance is right there. I can't even get the angle. It's bigger than you think. It's right there. Like as a person, you could just squeeze in there. And then you'll see, how could this stuff be coming out of it? Look at that. There's no, it's not possible. There's no growth on this stuff. And it's all being pushed. You can see it. If you look carefully, it's all coming out. It's just like the nest I found when I filmed the little Ewok dude. He was right in front of me. He didn't even move. He couldn't. Right? And just go back to the cave video. I zoom right on him. He has a seat and everything, and it's made out of like sticks and mulch. I come back a couple days later. They literally collapsed the entire cave. Like where there was a spot in the wall that he was, and they collapsed all of it. I filmed that as well. And you could see all that stuff. In the rubble. Because I busted him, he knew for sure, and then they left. I haven't seen anything or heard anything today, but I just know. You can tell by the trident axes on the ground, stuff like that. Trust me. If those are on the ground, they're nearby. Okay, they don't make those and then go over there. Okay, they're at wherever you see that. I can promise you. Okay, when you see that, you found them. Not always Bigfoot, the others. I don't know. I'm not even convinced Bigfoot uses structures. They do, actually. Oh. See these clean spots? There's like clean perches with like little... There's a pine cone. How is there a pine... There's a piece of a pine cone right there. How is that possible? The closest pine trees are... bird? I don't think birds eat pine cones. Look at this. See, more nests. More nesting. Oh, there's a bone in there. Right in here, there's a hole. You guys, look at the bones. There's bones in there. Check this out. Look at this. There's a bone right there. Right? There's another bone. You can tell everything is kind of weird looking. And then there's another bone there. Let's get that one. I love doing the rocks. It's so fun. The rocks aren't fun. It really, until you start to find stuff. It's hidden right in plain sight. You have to be a foot away from it to see it. Just like the Petroglyphs. It's another little, looks like maybe some kind of rodent of some sort. But these sticks have been piled in here. There's no way. Look at the rocks that were put in there too. Oh, he's got a little bed in there. Look at that. Look, he even brought all the stuff in there. There's like bedding and stuff in there. I'm not kidding. You see that? Now, this could be an animal, but I don't think so. Oh, there's more bones there. You see, it's really bizarre. Look how they're in there. Those are multiple bones put together. They don't look too recent, but maybe, I don't know, a year or two. And then remember I was playing that on my live feed the other day, or over the winter. And then I love that. Dude, where's my car? And he rips the... Google that if you haven't seen that. That's funny. Just Google and then. Ashton Kutcher. That is a funny scene. And I like dumb humor, but it has to be funny. So if they do it right, like they did with that movie, it's funny. I got a major spotter here. I noticed this thing. There's a perch. See, remember, it's small scale. It's like these things are like 2 feet tall, a foot tall. Somewhere in these, like right here, but they don't need to sit here and do this. This is something else, This is autism at its finest. Look at the sticks. I'm going to show you closely. I moved them a little bit. But just kind of look at the different sticks that were brought here. It's amazing. The only other thing that would be possible, first of all, I know where I am, but I want to be reasonable, just for the hell of it. Would be ravens. They tend to, that's a little bit of an overkill. There's a nest in there. I don't see, it doesn't look, it's not a bird's nest. And also in there, you got to see this round hole. I can't really, it's right where my head shadow is. Where's my head? Yeah, you can't see it. There's a hole there, like a round hole, like a seat. It's right in there. Maybe I'll show when I leave. And then they got those bones right there. Really interesting. Because it's not really, I don't know what else could do that. It's amazing. Look how these rocks were put right there. And they're weird rocks. I moved the one. You see, look. These were just put there. They were fit in to block the view of whatever's sitting there. But, would it be completely out of the realm of possibility to have like an eagle or like a raven bring some stuff here? No, it wouldn't be out of the realm. There at the window. Ugh. You see, this is amazing to me. Look at the top. You can't tell up here. These rocks have been like this, but they were all put in here somehow, like 1 million years ago. And then you got this same thing You guys, what are you doing? Oh my God, it goes all the way in there. And then look. Someone's eating something. These are old. Why are the bones? See, that's not animal, okay? It's the same kind of bizarre sticks. We got a lot of pine needles in here. Closest pine trees are hundreds of yards away across the street. Here's a jawbone. Old. Guys, this is wood. It's become wood. That's how old it is. What was that? That's a jawbone. Those are teeth. This has got to be, it's got some protection in there as well. It looks like it probably could get wet, but it doesn't really rain here. It's only snow. So snow doesn't really do too much damage. What it does is it actually insulates and keeps things longer, and then it will get wet as it melts, but that's about it. Those are just put there. Interesting. It's the same thing I see at the Petroglyphs. Same thing I see at the Petroglyphs. Something to do with them. Just keep in mind, I'm not a broken record. I have to keep telling people because they don't get it. There's a lot of different situations out here. We're not focused on one situation. It's all situations, intertwined. So it's confusing, but I think I'm on top of it. I really do. For as the amount of time I've been actually doing it. More bones. Piles of sticks with bones and no nests. You know what I mean? There's no nest. So it's not a bird. And here's the ultimate, okay? You know why it's not a bird? I just figured it out for a fact. Because wherever birds are, especially at the petroglyphs in the caves, you'll see the white poop. If they spend any amount of time at all here, if any bird, especially a sizable one, spent any amount of time, there'd be permanent bird poop. It just turns the rocks white. I know that you guys have seen this. Especially if they sit on like ledges and stuff. It becomes eternal if they live there. No white poop. That's a good point. I'm glad I thought of that now. And there you go. Here's another really good point. It's good, okay? I'm only me, so I have to, if someone else said it, I would have said it was a good point. They're walking, you got to see out of the back. There's literally, it's like they come out of here, never go forward too much, maybe at nighttime, but in the daytime, you can see they all come right here. The paths are right there. Oh, I'm in the shadows. Darn it. Maybe you can see. It comes out right there. And you see how everything would be bushes. But on the back of this, it's all open and dirt because they have like this playground back here. And here's the hard part, guys. Let's say you find the mound like this, which I have hundreds of these, okay? I haven't really started showing you most of them yet. Hundreds of them. Most of the best ones have turned white at the top. They're all white quartz. I've shown you some of those. I think there's even one. You see them here? So you'll see, they don't have the white quartz here. Somewhere there's one here. There's their mound. There's the other one. Okay, these are all neighborhoods. There's the next one. There's the next one. Okay, this is where they live. Okay, now I don't know about those guys. See, I really feel that these guys are a part of them too, but these are different beings. Like they might sleep here during the day. That's why we always see this mix. So over here, some might be, wherever they sleep, maybe during the daytime, and then these guys, and then they join up. And anyone that does timestamps can tell you that our timestamps are always mix. It's always a mix of the different creatures. You don't just see like 12 Bigfoots. It's always like one or two, and then they have all their whole team in place, which consists of little to big. And I think that's what they do. So whatever they're doing that we don't know about, and our imaginations probably can't even begin to think about, it's a team effort. It comes right here. Ewoks, little, not even Ewoks, they're like little ones. See how he walks through here? And then he's got the stick. It's just like all like mini scale stuff, but it's the same thing. He's got for him, that's a giant leaner. It's as big as him. And then he's got more bones. And then he walks right through. No problem. It's like a special hallway, a custom hallway. And this is why people have been fooled their whole lives, because they'll never leave somewhere like this. No person in the world will ever stand here again, even though it's this close. Maybe because it's such an interesting place where someone might pull over and be like, hey, let's go climb that. But that doesn't matter, you know what I mean? There you go. So did I say it yet? I can't remember if I was talking about it, but I can't remember if I finished. So here's the hard part. That's great. For us, we need this mentally. I do even, right? I need something that just, give me some logic. Oh, they go in there. Okay, so here's the real trick. They probably don't, and they don't need it. Okay, so their tech is, their entrances are done with their tech. It's right there, but they're hiding. I had a Bigfoot once to tell me they don't hide them. But what he said was, I was like, I know you guys hide those entrances, and he answered, no hide. He said some entrances he goes, some entrances not big enough for me, and some are big enough for me. So he basically what he was telling me was that even when it's not big enough for him, he can still use it. And he was also talking about the tunnels that go throughout the world. And he said some very hard to breathe, he told me. Very hard to breathe. Not good, Mark. Some are very not good. So you have to understand, a lot of these creatures are in turmoil. Like they used to be a rave of slaves, I believe. And they're hiding, and they can't be hurt when they're in their magic. And those are the elite ones you see with the staffs and stuff like that, okay? Those guys, as far as I'm concerned, are not on a mound like this. Maybe some of the bigger giant ones, but this one is these other ones. I filmed them hundreds of times. They're black, and they're like this big. And I don't know what their personality is like, because I think they're forbidden. There's clearly sets of rules out here that are not broken hardly ever, and they are bent. But these guys don't. I think because they've been taught to be scared to death of humans, especially when they're small. The Sasquatch and these elite beings were just a joke. But to these little guys, to most human beings, that means what? Cha-ching! You get yourself a little person, even on the black market, is worth close to $1 billion. So, and that's just at a guesstimate. Billions. And that's where it would have to be done. You'd have to sell it. I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying, these crazy people, that's why we can't, because these guys don't trust human beings. You cannot trust humans. Humans backstab each other every single day. The best of friends become enemies on a daily basis in this country because they're all bottom feeders. Okay? That doesn't happen to me. Why? Because I have a good heart. Could I get in an argument with my friend? Sure. But we don't even care. Like, you might be mad. Me and Callie, we want to tell you about a time that me and Callie had that we feel like they did to us. I honestly don't think they liked Callie, because he was going through some shit that day, and those particular ones didn't want him there. I never told them that, but I might not be right either. That's what I think. Maybe you'll have to hear the story before you can understand it. No, it depends on where I am, because when I've gone up, like to the top of places like that, and then I zoom back, it's much easier. They think I'm far enough away. And they still are in their magics most of the time. When you see them out of it, it's an amazing thing. It's like, the only way I can describe it, I said this to someone the other day, it's a biblical proportions. I'm gonna show you one day. I'm gonna film one of these dudes. It's impossible. It took me like 35 minutes to walk up to here. You know what I mean? Even if they were having a keg party, they could have washed the cups, put away their dishes. You know what I mean? It's look at here. See, something is doing all this. All through here. You can see the disturbances. He comes right out here because it's safe. Look, there's absolutely no way to see right here, if you're down here, except from space. Here's the spot. So this is how they do it, guys. Okay? Right here. This is why they're not hit by cars, because he's not going. They don't leave here. Those dudes never leave here. I mean, they might, but I don't think they go too far. And they're too smart. You know what I mean? It's just like you. I mean, why haven't you been hit by a car? They're smarter than you, so why haven't you been hit? Here's the other side. So you can see everything at some point or another has been, see, look, this is what it looks like here. This is what everything would look like if something didn't walk here. And it's been used forever, for years and years and years. This has been a hangout for something right here. Let me see if I can show you that seat. This is the second one in a row. It's funny how that happens to me. I just showed you a small seat, guaranteed, the other day. Blatant. Ooh, look at that one. You know why this is good, guys? Look at this. Let me show you. I'll show you the seat. He comes right out of it. He has his own little spot right there. And there's got to be many here, I would think, or at least a few. Look, that used to be right there, and now it's not. Not a bear. It was pulled out. It's heavy. I don't think that was it. Might have been me, actually. It didn't have any treads in it. Look at that. You would think, like, I was looking here, and I saw, like, there's a piece of white quartz just sitting there. But right there is the secret. And I missed it from this side. You can barely see it, and there's a seat. You can't see the seat from here. There's another one over there, and then there's one on the corner, and they're all set up to... Hold on. What is that? That was weird. I smelled... It almost smelled like propane for a second. It's been used and it's all hidden, you see. So if they do walk it, they don't need magic because they can't be seen by anybody left and right. You have a view from literally 5 minutes, almost minutes away from a vehicle. A vehicle couldn't even approach from either way. I was noticing that. I was like, man, if I ever have to run from the cops or something, I'll come up here. That's a good spot because the backside's so nice. There's no wind. It's like sunny. It's beautiful. You could make a place in between the rocks and make a shelter. It's a great place to hide. I'm being hypothetical. I would hopefully never have a reason to go into hiding. And then, see, this is why I'm convinced it's not.
So a lot of times I don't give too much of a backstory, but in this case, I see this, right? But to me, it looks like this rock that's standing up, and then it doesn't look like this at all. It's got it's like I knew they had done it, but I got pushed away, I think, looking back, I think they just made me kind of dull it down, and it just looked like a rock that was pointing very strangely, and it was standing up. You know, a lot of times I don't get to see
some of the bigger ones
until the video, but this time I actually saw the trick.
The bigger ones tend to fuss more, fiddle. He's going to make an X probably there. They're going to do something, and I don't see a lot of that because this is seen from the public, in a sense. Someone has looked up here before as they drive down, and they're going to keep it where, you're just not going to know. Why would I make this up when I could be over there filming the best Bigfoot world that's ever been filmed in the history of the world? Because I'm trying to teach you, not fool you. Amazing. See their little trail? That's one of the ones I was talking about. It's not this good of an example, but their trail is small and it's constant. And it goes around in circles. There's pieces of quartz everywhere. The other thing I noticed is shells everywhere too, probably from the river across the street. These trails just go out. Could animals be involved too? But yeah, not really. They'll use them because they're already there, but they don't make them. Animals are too stupid. They're not going to walk unless it's right at their house, the same trail every time. Mostly because of predators too. So it's one of the things I used to tell people, when they'd be deer make those perches. I was like, no, they don't. Deer never sit in the same seat, ever. Ever, ever, ever. It's instinct. They know if they were come back to sleep in the same spot every night, that it would be very short before the mountain lion just was sitting right there to eat them. That's why game was always on the move. That's why you can hardly ever see them out here. This is some of the most vast wilderness you could stand in the States. One right there, and there's one right there. There's no way there couldn't be dirt right there. like grass and leaves. You see how it's all clean? It's one of theirs, and I'm coming to this spot, but it's still them, and they just run around in here probably hunting or whatever. You see, like here, like those guys are happy just sitting right there, right? Like right there. The tribal dudes, see underneath? The ledge is all dirt. It's windy here. The leaves would blow. They've been sitting right there. It's the Ewoks. The little Ewoks. I feel like are really intelligent from like Star Wars. It's not them. They're like black and they're like a foot tall. I have them on video, so don't question me. Go watch the video. There's not even a blur.
I wonder how many people will realize that I've been describing and talking exactly about what I have filmed the whole time.
And all I know is those are active trails in there. They go in circles everywhere, just around that rock. There's no scat. There's no poop. There's no anything. You just find like a bone once in a while. Actually, the only bones I saw here was in those piles of sticks and mulch. I think that was the most interesting part of the day so far. It hasn't really paid off yet today to be here. Like I said, I'm working around smoke today, so it is absolutely, honestly, guys, this is it. Look at this day. I hope I'm blinding you. Put your shades on. Look at that, pretty. I don't hope I'm blinding you. That was a joke. But this is it, guys. I mean, I got days left, don't worry. But, I mean, this is like, it doesn't matter. My videos are going to keep coming no matter what. But here's the thing. I can't get out here. I got to make up. I already did 90% of my work, maybe 80 for the summer. And it's all gone. I had a whole folder filled with literally 1,000 clips that I set aside just for the winter for you guys of special things and things I haven't shown you yet, voices, vocals, whistles. It's all gone. Now, along with that, look how I'm stuck in here. Darn it. I'm not kidding. I have to go back right through there. It's the only way. It's a good place to hide from them. Do some zooms. Give me a sec. Just walk right by that. You guys wouldn't believe. You won't believe me. How many missed opportunities? It's not that many, but over the years, like, it's a big number considering what I would have shown you. You wouldn't have believed it. I'm not kidding, guys. That's why I have to be careful, because when I get, if I get something, if I had got my first day I ever did this, like on this.
Remember, they trick us. I'm not making any claims here, but I do happen to know where I'm standing, and I know that they are, these faces that might be pareidolia are on their connected system, which I have shown in the video. Don't miss the zoom at the end when I get in my car.
Sat here for like 15 minutes. I was zooming, getting I only have a couple options coming out of here, and I was taking some zooms up there. I also noticed too, I didn't notice it. It's practically touching my head. It's literally a foot from my head, and it's a star structure. I didn't realize. This is a spot. It's a hidden spot where they can come out of magic and just sit in here. You can just tell. Like, here's where they sit. He sits right here. I already messed up his spot. It's like a little round spot. You can see. There's no way to be seen in here by anyone ever. This is a great place. I mean, you could hide here for. It's absolutely gorgeous because you have the sun. You're completely secluded from everything, and no one could ever find you. This is a hiding spot and a half. You could actually live here. You put like I guess what I would do is, you dig out. What you do is you dig here. It's more of it's about that of an angle, and then you flatten this and put like a 2-man tent. Then you could camo yourself, and you could have a hidden place right here. Amazing. That's one of the you're not going to believe because it's hard to tell, but it's one of the coolest little spots I've ever sat in. Look at that. I mean, something walks in there and sits there. And there's a, like I told you, I showed you the star structure. When you come out of here, what's this? Could have been a bear sitting in there. No, I don't think so. I thought there's just one. I might have kicked that rock going in there because there's no other rocks flipped up. But a bear could be here. But I don't see any evidence of that. I doubt he was in there. That's their spot. It's their trails that lead all the way here through this craziness. Most of it you can't penetrate. Remember, they're down here. This is where they walk. Okay? Nothing sees them ever. These guys don't even need magic. What they need is they secure their location. And that's it. Nobody's looking. There's nobody here. Ever. Okay? The only time someone's ever here is if they go by in a car. And when I'm here like this, it's easy for them. It's no problem. I just look for mistakes. Like, look at the ground there. Look how chewed up the ground is. Those are all it's all language right there. Structure. It's really hard to see over there. Hold on. Because it's like in the shadows. There you go. Doesn't get much better than that. Two white eyes looking at the top of an X. That's what it looks like to me. Is that another right there on the X? You know how many pictures I have? They're not usually in between the X, but they're behind it. It could just look that way. I mean, it's kind of a coincidence that it's on an X. And the most unique. You know what it is? I think it's the rock. That X is on a boulder. Now, I'm not saying it can't be a trick, but I think it's like moss. But look where the X goes into. That's a good little spot, man. That's the coolest thing I zoomed on all day. That's more interesting over there than anything I've done today. In a way, like it's, because it's, you guys, I'm a human. I know that what we want is not, even if I'm showing you and being the most legit person in the world, it's still not that exciting, besides the learning part. So when you get to zoom into the stuff that's undeniable, the stuff that we have learned, the same way as the ABCs, okay, that's exciting. That this just happens to be on this trail. It's their trail. This is their world right here. Those other ones, the animal ones. Look, it was placed. There's no question about it in my mind. There's a piece of quartz right in front of it. Then you got your stick that goes in front, like always. Did you notice in the trail marker farm the other day, where I found the one trail that goes in, they had the stick across the entrance? It looked like this, practically. But nevertheless, when you could finally walk through, which was only one spot, it was like that, they had a perfect stick right across the front. They always do it at the beginning of their entrances. Look here. Here they do it differently, see? Here's the entrance to go to that, back up to that place. It would take me about 15 minutes to get there because of how hard it is. You got your X, and these come down, see? Like, it's impossible because you're supposed to walk right to here. Then you see an X, and then you hit the trail, and then you go all the way up, and then that's it. They're not going to tell you anything else. They don't do anything, and they don't want anything to do with me. It's either that or their rule. Look at this place. I guess this is a ravine. It doesn't, you can't tell until you get here. This is the only time you'll ever see water here would be in the fall. The spring. Snow melt. It's a great place to I'm going to turn the camera off to look around. Like, look, you want to sit like here. Just look, real carefully. Do you know how possible it is? Because our eyes don't see what you think they do. Like, you're looking now and you think you see everything. That's one of the biggest mistakes of people. You see nothing. Okay? You only see what you were taught to see, what we're supposed to see. That's why if you read your Bible, it's amazing. If you're a Christian, how can you not believe in what I do? It talks about it in the Bible. It talks about the unseen world in the Bible. The battle of the unseen world always has been there, and always will be. So I was thinking, like, gold, you look very carefully, and you could actually find, it's harder because a lot of times gold will just look like a rock, that has dirt on it. You can't tell. That's why people pan, like in there could be a piece of gold. I'm not really looking for, I'm looking for something that was by accident, like a nugget like that. Could you imagine that was gold? Oh my God, what I would do, so that's about, how much is that? It's about 1.5 pounds, a pound, let's say. No, I think it's more like maybe a pound, 2 pounds, like, yeah, about 1.5 pounds. So what's 1.5 pounds of gold? 16 ounces in a pound. What's gold now? 2 or 3 grand. It's like 2 grand, 2,500 or something. Or 1,800. I forget what gold is now. No, that's too much. It's like 1,800, right? I don't know. I can't buy gold, so I don't even want to know what the price is. But if I ever found one like that, imagine I found a chunk of gold like that. It has a face on it. Look at that, you guys. That is just bizarre. He's looking right at me. What's up, buddy? If I found one like that, you'd all be rich. If I ever find something out here, I used to say this all the time. If I ever find, because it's out here, guys, there's something out here worth, millions of dollars. There's someone where you live too. It's most likely under the ground now, not just sitting right there. Artifacts, a random freak boulder of gold. There's things out here. And if that ever happens, anyone that's ever given me money, I don't care if it was once 4 years ago, you'll be, depending on how much money I have, like if that was gold, you'd all be millionaires. Every one of you. You give me $5 4 years ago, you get a check for $1 million. Try me. Because one of these days, I'm always looking, I'm going to find something, and I'm not keeping that money. I'll keep just enough that I never have to ask anyone for money again, and I'll give everything to everyone that supported me. How fun would that be? That way, when I send you the $1 million, I know you're going to watch every video for the rest of your life. You have no choice. If I send you $1 million and you skip my videos, you're in trouble. I don't think any of you would. At that point, I think you would do it, even if you didn't want to watch it, I think you would do it just out of thankfulness. I sure as hell would. Someone's like, Mark, here's $1 million. But all I want you to do is watch every video I ever put out again. And I want your word. I'd be like, done. I'll watch it 3 times if you want me to. Bye. See, I might not even have went to that mound, except I know what's across the street. Big time. Real Bigfoots. Well, to be honest with you, there's not that many over there. That's like, it's, they look like Bigfoot. You know what, as far as you're concerned, it's a Bigfoot. How about that? Make you happy. Be whatever you want it to be. I call it the witch forest. This little witch forest next to that place is kind of interesting. It's got the structures. That's where everything starts. It's just far enough, away where they can start doing this. It's what you guys recognize. It's exactly what it is, except this is like a funky trail marker that you can't see, and it's tucked in there. They did that, and they did that, and they did that. Remember, what I tell you, trail marker. It's on the trail marking it, okay? Someone else will figure out, someone else will have some common sense, like, it's like enough. Okay, so you got your round. So not only is it a trail marker, but it's actually meant for this way. And then it's got, because I'm not far from the road. Okay, they did that, and they did that. I love this little arch. I find them all, I shouldn't say all the time, but quite often, but they're hard to find. And when I find the arches, I love it. Like that what I just walked through, they did that, okay? It's the witch wallow, I call it. Witch wallows. I've never been in this one, but they did that, they did that, they did this. Every single thing you see, they did it. Everything. This is more of like what I'm used to dealing with, these guys. I gotta tell you, I love the petroglyphs and stuff, but I belong where the forests are. I gotta be, to be the best I can be in this, I gotta be on this. Look at that. This is where I'm happy. I love this. It's like, you guys, it's like finding pieces of art. I changed my word, of art. You know, just in the woods that no one in the world has ever seen before. So you could look at it that way if you want. Forget anything exists out here. Find artwork. Find mathematical equations. In my opinion, that's all you are. That's not an insult. I mean, not you, just all of us. Look at the Bend City in here. You cannot break these things. They're like rubber trees. So if it looks like that, they did it. Not snow, okay? Look at this is all done. And where does it go? Wow, look at the witch wallow. It's not, but I just love that name. It looks like, you you go up there and the witch is stewing her pot up there. That's why I call it that. It's amazing the amount of bends they do in there. And other structures. And then, it's like I can be so confident about that because of what's right in front of me. They're staring right at me. You guys, I got vibes so bad right now. Because look, you got that whole mountain. It's way bigger than you think. And it's all structures. And it's all a world because there's a river dividing us. So they're just sitting right there. They've been watching me for the last 3 hours. And man, when I came out of there, I just feel it. It's the same. I'm telling you, my ability is just developed. You all have it. People are like, Mark, you're psychic. No, I'm not psychic. I swear, I'm not psychic. It's a developed skill is what I use. It's from being around them, but I'm telling you, we all have that one. I'm actually laying on my back. It looks like I can't see because see, you can't really see. See, as you get to where someone might see it from the road, it's all normal. Those are the same exact trees. You go right to where they walk in, where their entrance is to go there, which is probably ones that come down here to go to the forest across the street, things like that. Remember, I guessed that because it has to be. I don't know what else they could possibly, I don't know what they're doing, It's not, I think we kind of picture it like if it was us, like, oh, I live up in there, I'm going to go out and, I'm going to go out and forage and gather, it's not what we think. That's all I know. It's just not what we think. Experiment. So say something was as big as me. A car went by just now, the first car. All right, he's coming this way. I could hear him. He couldn't see me. I just went like this. And I say, bad human. And I let him go by. 2 seconds, and I'm a human, and I can avoid every person. They could park there and look up here for 45 minutes. There's nothing there. Meanwhile, I'm a person 30 feet away, and they'll never see me. People just aren't thinking. Like they just expect these guys to be standing there for them to see. Okay, it's like people think they're like royalty or something. And there's my spot. Okay, so you wouldn't believe how long it took me to come out of there. It's so very deceiving. I never did find those. Oh, they're in there. Darn it. I never did go to the lifted up rocks. I'm not gonna. That's where they go in right there. You can go in. It's bigger than you think at the top there. Look how they're stacked. They stacked all those recently, the ones that are on the top. It's so much bigger than it looks up there. Quick. How else do I know that entrances, like, that you don't need See, what they did there, they put the big one on top and they put the other, I'm not sure exactly how many they moved in position over the last 4 years, but like it just appeared, you know. It was only that one. Now, by the way, I want to make it clear that I'm not talking about that rock there. That rock, I think, was there. It was just that rock. And that split, I remember. So how else do I know that they have entrances that you can't see, or they use them in ways that you can't understand? Because I see that